As the supporting lead in the show Hannibal, Miss Mickelson plays the psychiatrist Dr. Hannibal Lecter, who actively has three roles in the show. Firstly, he's the friend and therapist of our protagonist, as he maintains his true identities of destructive and brutal killers that shows no guilt or mercy. Throughout the first season of the show, he acts as both the Chesapeake Ripper and the copycat killer, while working together with the FBI to catch these two. Eventually, Hannibal is figured out by Will Graham, but until then, Hannibal took joy in serving these oblivious people, the very people whose death they were investigating. Hannibal himself has refined taste of both foods and arts, which is apparent in both his personality and his home. He takes pride in his cultural knowledge, and it's probably the nature of Hannibal's knowledge of the arts that makes people so oblivious to his true self.
The Chesapeake Ripper is the killer who started the story itself, as Will Graham, the main protagonist, is asked to help investigate his murders. This is Hannibal's main alias, meaning that this is the one he identifies with the most. The Ripper doesn't kill because he necessarily finds it enjoyable, but more because he feels like he has a duty to expunge the rudeness of the world. He sees his victims as pigs and nothing more. This is also how he justifies eating his victims, seeing as cannibalism suggests eating one's equals, and commonly known, pigs are unequal to humans. During the 3 or more years in which he acts as the Chesapeake Ripper, Hannibal manages to kill well over 9 people, as we don't see all the victims on screen, but definitely get hints that he's killing more people than are shown. When and if the Ripper wants you to know he killed someone, he makes sure to set a theatrical scene for the police to find. Although his killing method varies, it is definitely evident that his murders are brutal and always involve mutilation of some sort.
As a killer within a killer, Hannibal used this proclaimed copycat killer as a way to either help himself or Will Graham. Considering the name, it isn't so hard to figure out how this killer operated, meaning he would kill in the style of other killers, sometimes even with the intention of framing someone else entirely. Similar to the Chesapeake Ripper, the copycat killer makes great use of brutal mutilations, as he displays his victim with great pleasure. His victims are usually people of great impact to the plot of the series, and in a whole he manages to kill 6 people, eventually framing Will Graham as a serial killer at work. Hannibal serves his victims as a dish to each person coming to eat, and almost in every episode there's a new dish that he makes. It can be anything from a sausage made on a human to the heart or actually the kidneys as well.
Dr. Hannibal Lecter is a man in his late 40s to early 50s with a refined taste of art and culture. We find out in later seasons that his hometown is in Italy, yet in season 1, Hannibal's murders are focused in the USA. Taking only season 1 into account, there are approximately 16 plus murders. This is evident as we see Hannibal randomly picking names from a collection of business cards, hereafter killing them for meat. As mentioned, Hannibal doesn't have one preferred or signature way of killing, although his mutilation patterns are what signifies his image. As of season 1, Hannibal is not caught by the authorities, but is indeed figured out by a few key people, such as Will Graham. As this series is, of course, fictional, the time span of the killings is hard to pinpoint, but is evidently well over 3 years, while taking into account that the copycat murders overlap with the Chesapeake Ripper murders.